It was supposed to be a simple, intimate celebration, something beautiful yet modest, something that captured the essence of what my daughter and her fiancé truly wanted: a wedding about love, not spectacle. They had no desire for grand ballrooms, no extravagant displays of wealth, no overpriced venues draining them of savings that could be used for their future. All they wanted was to say their vows in our backyard, under the same roof where my daughter had grown up, where memories of scraped knees, birthday parties, and late night storytelling still lingered in the air. It was their day, their moment, and I would do anything to give it to them. But the Homeowners Association had other plans. Their first warning came in the form of an official looking letter, crisp and sterile, stapled to our mailbox like a cold decree. The letter didn't request compliance, it demanded it. They called the decorations excessive, the string lights disturbing to community order, and the number of expected guests a violation of residential tranquility. I barely had time to scoff before a second letter arrived, stating that all decorations must be removed immediately. And by the time the third letter came, one explicitly saying that the wedding itself was unauthorized and should be relocated elsewhere, I knew this wasn't about rules. This was about power. I had dealt with power-hungry people before. In the world of business, I had stood across from the most ruthless men and women, negotiating deals worth hundreds of millions. I had built an empire from the ground up, weaving through legal loopholes and corporate landmines like a seasoned warrior. I knew real power. But this was something different. This wasn't about money, influence, or even genuine concern for the neighborhood. This was about control. The HOA, and more specifically its president, Margaret Dawson, thrived on the feeling of dominance. This wasn't about our wedding. This was about reminding us who was really in charge. The morning after the final warning, I walked into the HOA office, a cold, glass-walled monstrosity in the heart of the neighborhood, built to resemble authority more than accessibility. I stepped inside and was immediately met with the scent of coffee and paperwork, the sterile atmosphere of an institution that pretended to be community-driven. At the front desk, a woman barely glanced at me before waving toward the office at the end of the hall. Margaret Dawson sat behind a mahogany desk, her presence as rigid as the overpriced decor surrounding her. She was in her 60s, her silver hair pinned into a tight bun, her blouse ironed with military precision. Her entire aura screamed someone who had been in control for so long, she had forgotten what it was like to be questioned. "Ah, Mr. Calloway," she greeted, offering a thin, humorless smile. "I assume you're here to discuss the wedding violation notices?" I took a slow breath, keeping my tone calm. "I'd like an explanation as to why a private wedding on private property is suddenly a violation." Margaret let out a dramatic sigh, leaning back as if I had personally inconvenienced her. "Mr. Calloway, I'm sure you understand that this isn't personal. We have rules. Large gatherings disturb the peaceful balance of the community. Too many guests, too much traffic, and decorations that alter the aesthetic integrity of our neighborhood. We simply can't allow Sycamore Ridge to be turned into a festival ground." I held back a smirk. "A festival ground? You do realize we're talking about string lights and folding chairs, right?" Her smile thinned. "Rules are rules, Mr. Calloway." I stood there for a moment, studying her. She believed she had already won. I had seen that look before in boardrooms, in corporate negotiations, in courtrooms where lawyers overestimated their influence. Margaret had spent years ruling with fear and bureaucracy, suffocating this community with nonsense regulations. She had no idea who she was dealing with. At first, I assumed the harassment would stop there, that maybe she'd send another empty warning letter, another attempt to rattle us before ultimately backing down. I was wrong. That night, at exactly 11:45 p.m., our power was cut. I had been sitting on the back porch, enjoying the quiet hum of the evening, when suddenly every single light in the house went out. The garden, once glowing with warm string lights, was swallowed by darkness. At first, I assumed it was an outage, Then I checked the security footage. Two men, HOA maintenance workers, had been caught on camera, tampering with the electrical box. I clenched my jaw. So that was how far they were willing to go? The next morning, as we prepared the wedding setup, a truck pulled up outside. HOA officials stepped out with clipboards, surveying the front lawn like generals inspecting a battlefield. And then, without a word, they started ripping out patches of our grass. I stormed outside. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" One of the workers barely glanced at me. "Your lawn is in violation of HOA landscaping standards. The grass height is inconsistent with community regulations. It must be corrected immediately." I almost laughed. "You are seriously tearing up my lawn the morning of my daughter's wedding because of grass height." The worker shrugged. "Rules are rules." Then came the announcements. A voice boomed from hidden speakers across the neighborhood. "Attention residents, the unauthorized event at 264 Maple Drive has been officially canceled. Guests are asked to vacate immediately." The microphone repeated the message every 10 minutes. My daughter stood frozen, her hands trembling. Guests shifted uncomfortably, some whispering, others already heading toward their cars. This was their plan. Not just to stop the wedding, but to humiliate us. And that was the moment I decided I was done playing fair. I stepped onto the front porch, taking a slow, steady breath before raising my voice so the entire neighborhood could hear. "Margaret," I called, watching as she turned toward me, her smug smile already forming. I took a step forward, my voice booming. "Did you ever stop to ask yourself who I am?" She blinked, caught off guard. I pulled out a stack of documents, holding them up for everyone to see. "I own this land. Not just this house. Not just this street. Almost every unclaimed commercial and residential lot in this neighborhood belongs to me." Margaret's face drained of color. "For years, you have been barking orders at the man who owns the very ground beneath your feet." A hush fell over the entire block. Neighbors who had remained silent for years stared in shock. I turned to the guests and my family, my expression softening. "This wedding is happening. Right here. Right now. And no one, especially not the HOA, is going to stop it." Margaret opened her mouth, but no words came out. Then I delivered the final blow. And starting next week, I am personally funding a community event center, open to all residents, free of charge. Unlike this HOA, it will be run for the people, not against them. The crowd erupted into cheers. Margaret staggered backward. The HOA was finished. The wedding, it was perfect. And the HOA, it didn't make it through the month. And the HOA board was elected with fair directors in an election held at the end of the month. And that's another unbelievable story from the world of HOAs. What do you think? Was justice served, or should things have ended differently? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another crazy tale. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.